Here with Bobby and JJ Radio, our show is centered around Roger Ray CPA, a great tax and accounting firm here in the San Antonio metro area. And we're discussing all different business tactics with Roger Ray and Vanessa Zink. Roger, I want to kind of dive into and it's funny that we're going to ask you this question because it's every question. It's the first question they ask every single real estate agent when they start is, what is your why? Why are you doing this kind of business? Why do you get up in the morning? Why are you working so hard to expand your business and help business owner? Why do you do this?
Sure. I myself have, as you mentioned earlier in the initial introduction, 30 years of business management and leadership experience, with the last 18 years working in Asia and being based in China.
Sure.
And as you also mentioned, I've started up grassroots businesses, including most recently Ray CPA, but also led businesses to higher growth and higher profit as big as $40 million a year in sales. And so I have this experience, and I love being a business leader. I made the choice to work with my son now in Ray CPA, and the reason I did that is so I can share my experience, my expertise, and my skills with our clients.
That's awesome. So tell us some of the how can you help the owners as far as startups? So if someone's starting up, a brand new business, how can you help someone that's just beginning their journey as far as a business owner?
Sure. Well, I'm going to just step back and say that in my Asia business scope, and also previous to that in my U.S. business scope, my business scope included HR, sales and marketing, legal entity formation, corporate and labor law compliance, project management, engineering, and manufacturing.
So this is covering 2 continents then. So, I mean, you were doing this in you've done this in all over the place.
All over the place, right?
Yeah, so
India, Australia, China.
So more continents.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. So you're doing HR sales. So everything for a business you've had.
Right. I've sort of handled before. And so when we sit down with a new startup business owner who's never been in business before, and it might be somebody who's wanting to get into concrete refinishing, or somebody who's wanting to get into deck building. They have that passion, but they've never...
Landscaping. JJ has a big passion for
landscaping. Oh, does he?
My weed eater position is uncanny.
He has one of those leaf blowers.
Then we should talk
He has a jetpack leaf blower.
Yeah, like Egon in Ghostbusters.
Yeah, so what we would do is, if before you're ready to take that passion of landscaping, we would sit down and we'd talk about, let's think about the financial aspect of this business. So you have a passion to do landscaping, but have you thought about how much cash it's going to take to go out and buy the equipment, to run the business? Do you have access to that working capital cash yourself, or are you going to need to go out for outside lending?
And Bobby jokes, by the way, but we know landscapers that live in the Dominion that have commercial landscaping companies. They're actually very wealthy people.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so talk to me more. I want to get to that level.
Yeah, so then we put together financial budgets. We put together sort of cash flow and say, for the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, are you confident that you either have the cash or have access to the cash to keep the business running? Because what's the number one reason why most businesses fail is because they run out of cash.
Sure.
And so that's probably the single biggest important thing. And then really putting together, a business strategy, a business plan, defining both short-term and long-term goals and objectives. Those are all really key for a new startup.
So we had a show one time. It was kind of geared towards, do you have a hobby, an idea, or a business? And so you can kind of just lead someone through that. Has there been a time when you sit down with someone and you're just like, this might just be a side hobby of yours?
Yeah, I mean, you really got to seriously think, can I generate revenue from this? And more importantly, can I generate positive cash flow and profit from this business?
And how can you help somebody sell a business?
So when it comes to selling a business, generally, hopefully, we know that years in advance. But, generally we're going to say, what's your exit strategy? Let's talk early about business valuation. Let's identify some potential buyers of your business or potential acquisition or merger partners. And let's also talk about your financial statements. And Vanessa will talk about tax strategy minimization versus having pretty financial statements. But if you're going to sell a business, it's not too much different than a publicly listed company. You need to be able to show years of nice revenue growth, gross margin growth, growth in cash flow, growth in profit. And that's what's going to attract higher business valuation for your business.
A quick takeaway, Roger, what are some tips you can give business owners right now?
I think the key tips are, one, plan. Make sure you plan and take a lot of time to plan at the beginning. Set good goals and objectives. Ensure you have sufficient working capital, as we talked about, or at least access to it.
Sure.
Work hard. market yourself.
Sure.
Today, social media is key in really being successful and growing your client base. Be patient. You don't have a profit and a whole host of clients on day one, so you got to have patience and network and be out in the market. I think those are really...
You had all those covered. We're good.
I think we're good. We don't need Roger. I'm out of here. No, I'm just kidding. So if anyone...
you do need it.
No, I do need you, actually. If anyone wants to get a hold of Roger and really sit down and get a consultation, they should call him directly at 210-288-0824. Again, that's 288-0824. So if you're thinking about expanding your business, growing it, starting one, if you want to know if it's a hobby, if it's an actual idea, or you're trying to transition that into a real business, please get a hold of Roger at 210-288-0824. We're going to be right back, and we're going to speak with this infamous Vanessa that he keeps alluding to. We're going to take a quick break and talk to our show sponsors. We'll be right back with Bobby and JJ Radio.